Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode. Graham here. Listen, thank you everybody who's been commenting, who's giving very positive feedback. It's wonderful to hear. I will get back to people who are writing to me personally. Thank you again. Listen, just a quick shout out to a guy who is doing a blog called Fighting Through Cancer. I watched an episode of his, and he was doing a bit about side effects of the injections, the hormone injections he's having, what we call the prostate blockers, testosterone blockers. And he came out with some really jarring issues that he was having, and I could make that comparison because I'm sure we're all having the same, but he was having some quite a horrific side effects, hot flushes, the tiredness, fatigue, the body changing. But he had the side effects which was much more apparent on his emotional state. He was saying that he could walk through a shop, something would trigger an emotion, and he would just, start to well up or cry. I don't have any of that, but I have other quite extreme ones. But bear in mind, he was stage 4. But I just wanted to mention, his blog is really good, very down to earth, down to the truth. And a good shout out to him. I will connect to him and I will drop him a line. So I was just going through some of the episodes I've done since the channel started. As you know, I do a cooking side, but also I've started to post weekly poems. And the poems are very much in line with my journey and going through that journey. So if you enjoy some nice words, it's only about 1.5 minutes long, but tune in and have a look at that. It's really good. As I was saying, I've gone back over some of the episodes, and it dawned on me, wow, what a journey this has been. And I must admit, I feel so much better now. I'm starting to feel like I've got an opinion, I've got a voice, I'm telling my story, people are listening. And, as you know, 1 in 7 men go through some sort of prostate cancer in their lives. Now, that's a truly astounding statistic. Wow. But on the good side, we get through it, or we're getting through it. It's just a journey that we're having to go through. And I'm particularly going through it and telling the story, because it makes me feel like I have a voice again, and I'm contributing to something. So I just wanted to talk about my first Christmas going through, with the diagnosis of prostate cancer. And in the last couple of episodes, I talked about going through the final diagnosis stage, having the MRI, being told it wasn't in the bone, going through the emotional state, understanding what my treatment plan was going to be and how I was going to deal with it. And really, the whole emphasis of your treatment is about suppressing that cancer and stopping it growing in the prostate, or spreading even, to allow you to get to a stage where your radiotherapy had a very, very good chance of succeeding through a targeting process. Now, I hadn't been told when I was going to have my radiotherapy. All I was told is take the tablets. I moved from the tablets onto the injections, had my tested every 3 months, and then when my PSA normalizes or gets to a state of where the radiotherapy could be effective or will be effective, and then I'll be told a date. What I was told is it could possibly be in January. So I had very positive prognosis, and it was now coming to terms, trying to get life back to, a normal keel, having the cancer living side by side and dealing with it the best way I knew how to. And that was having a little bit of things to look forward to. Christmas was literally upon us. And my job was very much to gather everything, the presents, and make Christmas as special as possible. The only thing I didn't have was the energy levels, and that was purely because the blockers was doing their job, because the side effects of the blockers was fatigue, flushes, muscle loss, a whole host of other things. But somehow, and I told you in the last episode, is I rang the doctor and asked for some help, because everything I was trying just wasn't working, and he gave me some pretty strong painkillers. And that tended to perk me up, because I had a coping mechanism of, if it got too bad, I could, take these. So we got to Christmas, and although my energy levels were low, we had a brilliant time. My family had all gathered. Jacob had come back from university. Morgan was his, normal, jubilant self, full of enthusiasm, which makes me feel good. And my wife, bless her, she makes Christmas as special as ever. So we went through Christmas and New Year, and that perked me up and made me feel a lot more, focused for what was coming up. I knew this was coming up quite soon, sooner rather than later, and that was the radiotherapy. Now, before I start going into the radiotherapy, and I'm going to leave that to the next episode because it's quite a bit of a detailed thing. It was in January, end of January, I got a phone call. And that was early January. I had my PSA done. They got the results of that, and my bloods came back positive. So it was starting to drop. The blockers, the tablets, the injections had all started to take effect. And bear in mind, this was going back to, springtime when I was diagnosed. So that was good. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in the next episode. Thanks again for joining me. I love telling this story. Thanks so much. And I'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.